Hello YouTube, just a couple updates here today. The Simplicity Snowbuster 724 snowblower with cab is finished. I just got finished with it Friday afternoon. I worked about 4 hours on it. If you remember the snowblower, I trash picked this during the springtime. It came from an estate clean out. The guy who threw it out was cleaning out his parents' garage in order for the house to be sold. So he put the snowblower by the curb. And after I saw it, I went home, took the cap off my pickup truck and took the snowblower home. And even though the guy said the engine ran, when I got it running, I noticed that the fuel was leaking from the carburetor like crazy. And as a result, the carburetor's got a brand new float, a new needle and seat kit on it, a new float bowl O-ring, and that gasket that fits on the bottom of the screw. And I didn't even bother taking the carburetor off this engine because I couldn't get it off. I adjusted the float level on another Tecumseh carburetor, and when I installed the float on this engine, on this carburetor rather, the height was right on the money. I did a great job. But yeah, this engine starts and runs awesome now. It always did, of course, even though it still ran awesome when it was leaking gas. And the engine's got all new fuel lines in it. The main line and the primer line have been replaced. I also installed a new fuel shutoff valve because the previous fuel line didn't have one. I can't stand Tecumseh engines without a fuel shutoff valve, so I installed a fuel shutoff valve on this engine. And I changed the oil, I installed a new spark plug, and yes, this engine starts and runs awesome. I re-greased all the tensioners, including the chain and the chute. I installed a used pair of skid shoes, which I got off another Simplicity snowblower. The old ones were wore off on here. I installed a new scraper bar on the bottom of the snowblower. This is just a man-made scraper bar. I went to Home Depot. I got a flat piece of stock, maybe about that wide. I cut it to size and I drilled holes in it. And that's the first time I actually made my own scraper bar, and it turned out pretty well. The reason why I did that is because at the dealer, a brand new scraper blade for this snowblower cost $81, and I didn't want to spend that much, so I just made my own. And yeah, I mean, this snowblower is ready to be sold pretty soon, hopefully. And whoever buys it, if I sell it, will get a really good snowblower for the price with all the new parts on it. The belts maybe have 1 or 2 years left on them, but they're still alright. And as far as the Snapper snowblower goes, I had to replace both belts, the auger belt and the drive belt. The auger belt was pretty wore out. There was chunks taken out of it. So I went to the dealer and I bought a new one for $18. And I had to remove the drive belt to install the auger belt. The drive belt was fine. But when I installed the drive belt to get the unit back together again, I noticed that there was a string sticking out of the drive belt, so I changed the drive belt too. I replaced the drive belt with a brand new one because there was a string sticking out of the old drive belt. But yeah, this thing has a new auger belt and a new drive belt on it, and it was kind of tricky. It was kind of tricky to adjust the new auger belt because when I installed it, when I would pull the starter rope, the auger would start spinning around. So I had to adjust this little piece of metal here and this little pin here along with the auger cable to prevent the auger from spinning when I would pull the starter rope. And I think the belt needed to break in a little bit in order for the auger to stop when I would release the handle. Yeah, and I think I got it proper now. The auger still rotates just a tiny bit, but I think that will stop when the belts break in. And yeah, some idiot on a motorcycle was going past. Fucking annoying. Yeah, and I'll get this back together. I'll get the case all greased up and everything. The bottom case, where all the crap is. This is what I'm talking about, the case, or bottom mechanism. This wheel is kind of like a wheel on a self-propelled Snapper lawnmower. It looks like the exact same thing. And I'll just re-grease the bottom and everything, and re-grease all the gears and stuff. Put this back together, and I'll get started on them 2-cycle single-stage snowblowers that I got in the garage. And last night I got some gas. This is for the regular 2-stage 4-cycle snowblowers. This is for the Toros, the 50-to-1, and this is 32-to-1 for this one MTD, this really old MTD that I have. So yeah, and I spent $25 on gas last night, but now I got these all mixed up with oil. So yeah, and yeah, I'm gonna do a lot of work this week, hopefully. And that concludes this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.